The Gospel according to Mathew, chapter 22, the wedding feast. Jesus went on speaking to them in parables. The kingdom of heaven, he said, is like this. A king celebrated the wedding of his son. He sent his servants to call the invited guests to the wedding feast, but the guests refused to come. Next he sent other servants, ordering them to say to the invited guests, I have prepared a banquet. My oxen and fattened calves are slaughtered, and now everything is ready. Come then to the wedding feast. But they paid no attention and went away, some to their fields and others to their work, while the rest seized the servants of the king, insulted them, and killed them. The king became angry. He sent his troops to destroy those murderers and burn their city. Then he said to his servants, The wedding feast is ready, but the invited guests were not worthy. Go then to the crossroads and invite everyone you find to the wedding feast. The servants went out at once into the streets and gathered everyone they found, good and bad alike, so that the hall was filled with guests. The king came in to see those who were at table, and he noticed a man not wearing the wedding garment. So he said to him, Friend, how did you get in without the wedding garment? But the man kept silent. So the king said to his servants, Bind his hands and feet and throw him into the dark, where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth. Know then that many are called, but few are chosen. Paying taxes to Caesar. The Pharisees went out and took counsel on how they could trap Jesus with his own words. They then sent their disciples with the members of Herod's party to do this. They said to Jesus, Master, we know that you are an honest man and teach God's way honestly. You are not influenced by what other people might say, nor are you afraid of anyone. Tell us then what you think. Is it against the law to pay taxes to Caesar? Should we pay them or not? But Jesus understood their evil intent and said to them, Hypocrites, why are you testing me? Show me the coin with which you pay the taxes. They showed him a denarius, and Jesus said to them, Whose head is this, and whose name? They answered, Caesar's. Then Jesus replied, Then give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. They were greatly astonished at his answer, so they left him and went away. The resurrection of the dead. That same day, some of Sadducees came to Jesus. Since they claimed that there was no resurrection, they questioned him like this, Master, Moses said that if a man dies childless, his brothers must marry the widow and raise up children for his dead brother. Now there were 7 brothers among us. The first married a wife, and he died. Since he had no children, he left his wife to his brother. The same thing happened to the second and to the third, and so on until the 7th. Then last of all, the women also died. Now in the resurrection of the dead, which of the 7 will have her as wife? For all of them had married her. Jesus answered, You are totally wrong, because you understand neither the scriptures nor the power of God. First of all, in the resurrection of the dead, neither men nor women will marry, but they will be like the angels in heaven. And about the resurrection of the dead, have you never reflected on what God said to you? I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is God not of the dead, but of the living. The people who heard him were astonished at his teaching. The Great Commandment. When the Pharisees heard how Jesus had silenced the Sadducees, they came together. One of them, a teacher of the law, tried to test him with this question, Teacher, which is the most important commandment in the law? Jesus answered, You shall love the God, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and the most important of the commandments. But there is another one like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. The whole law and the prophets are founded on these 2 commandments. Whose son is the Christ? As the Pharisees were gathered there, Jesus asked them, What do you think of the Christ? Whose son is he? They answered, David's. Jesus then asked, Why then did David, inspired by the Spirit, call him Lord? For he says in a psalm, The Lord said to my Lord, Sit at my right until I put your enemies under your feet. If David calls him Lord, how can the Christ be his son? No one could answer him, not even a word. From that day on, no one dared question him anymore.